Some couples run the company, while others burn down the building. These are the top 10 power couples in WWE history, and we're ranking them off 5 defining qualities: duration of relationship, championship pedigree, chemistry, storylines, and legacy. Starting with the quietest dominance in WWE romance, The Undertaker and Michelle McCool. During their WWE careers, they kept the romance off TV, but they still have a lot going for them as a couple. You see, McCool wasn't just Taker's wife. She was the top heel in the Divas era with Lay Cool, the inaugural Divas champion, the first woman to hold both the Divas and women's title, and when the women finally got a Rumble, she showed up and led the field in eliminations. But as great as these achievements were, they obviously can't match up to her husband's, because The Undertaker is legendary. From the streak, the aura, to the gong, the dude's an icon in every sense. And their biggest couples moment wasn't melodrama, it was real life. Because during Taker's 2022 Hall of Fame speech, he made sure to credit the people behind the dead man, including the love of his life, Michelle. Now, we never got to see their on-screen chemistry in the ring, but post-retirement, they finally broke the fourth wall together, because Michelle is now co-hosting 6 Feet Under with The Undertaker, despite how some fans might feel about it. So when you factor in their longevity, legacy, and legit accomplishments, they're definitely worthy of a top 10 spot, scoring a total of 34 out of 50. If Taker and McCool are silent in stature, this next duo is vibe and timing. Jimmy Uso and Naomi never needed a power couple push because their entrances, timing, and unforced chemistry did all the work. Look at their mixed match challenge entrance as Team Day One Glow, for example. From the dance to the kiss, the glow lighting, you can feel their dynamic in just 20 seconds, and WWE fans love it. Naomi's resume speaks for itself. 2-time SmackDown Women's Champion, the first winner of the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal, and a 2024 Royal Rumble return that lit up the building. She's got that athletic burst, can do a split leg moonsault, the Feel the Glow presentation. She's entertaining as hell. And across from her, Jimmy is one half of a generational tag team, because the Usos set the modern standard with a 622-day reign, the longest men's tag title run in WWE history. And they transitioned into the Bloodline era without turning their marriage into a weekly plot device. Yeah, day one-ish, stay day one-ish. Jimmy and Naomi brushed the edges of WWE's biggest saga without hijacking it, which is the point here: reliability and connection. When Naomi pops a surprise return in Jimmy's building, the smile hits before the bell. And when they link up post-match on SmackDown and dance the aisle, it reads as two performers who know exactly who they are. No drama, just vibe and timing. And on top of it all, now they got a little oos on the way too, so their total score is 36 out of 50. From day one glow to day one grit. Stubborn wrestling purist meets reality TV star. Daniel Bryan brought the yes movement, while Brie Bella brought new eyeballs. 2 completely different lanes with one simple goal: greatness. Their relationship was public, but their best moments came when it touched storylines, like when Brie quit WWE on TV, slapped Stephanie McMahon, and turned Bryan vs. The Authority into a family fight. So a few months later at SummerSlam, when Brie squared off with Stephanie, it felt big time. But this wasn't just soap opera fluff. It was the company's top heel boss getting dragged into their world. And Brie's got other receipts too. Divas champion in 2011, Twin Magic as a calling card, and even a short run beside Bryan against Miz and Maurice in 2018, who will feature later in this list. So sure, she's a reality star, but she's also still a worker who could lace him up with the best. And of course, her husband isn't a scrub himself. He's one of the greatest technical wrestlers of all time, a 5-time world champ, a Grand Slam champion, tag gold with Kane and with Eric Rowan. He's won Money in the Bank, the Elimination Chamber 3 times, and he pulled off one of the most improbable WrestleMania runs ever, when at WrestleMania 30, he beat Triple H, Batista, and Randy Orton in the same night to win the WWE World Heavyweight title. But personally, my favorite Daniel Bryan moment was when he turned face against the Wyatt family in a steel cage, because I was there that night, and you could literally hear a pin drop between every yes chant. And together, Daniel and Brie are one of the most powerful couples the WWE has ever seen, with their total being 37 out of 50. They brought hearts and reality, but this next pair brought scandal and rocket fuel. Edge and Lita's run as a couple was the shortest on this list, but it had some historic consequences. First of all, it turned Edge from tag team legend into a singles mega heel, all because he stole Lita from fan favorite Matt Hardy. Not just in real life, but on television too. And from there, it snowballed. Edge went on to win Money in the Bank, cashed in at New Year's Revolution 2006, and the very next night, he rolled into bed with Lita for something TV has never seen before, a live sex celebration. So suddenly, Mondays felt dangerous again, and WWE had one of the hottest heel power couples of all time leading the way. Edge was the rated R superstar, but it took two to create that gimmick. You see, Lita wasn't just at ringside. She was the tripwire, the ankle grab, the belt slide, the perfect distraction that flipped finishes. And she had the resume to sell it. Four-time women's champion, Team Extreme Daredevil, moonsaults and ranas that made crowds gasp. Edge became the ultimate opportunist. He was the first Money in the Bank cash-in, a multi-time world champion, an absolute heat magnet. But it might not have turned out that way if it weren't for his relationship with Lita. So yeah, this couple didn't last long, and outside of kayfabe, you could make the argument that Edge and Beth Phoenix are a better couple, but Edge and Lita turned scandal into storyline fuel and made heel romance feel loud, messy, and must-watch, bringing their total to 38 out of 50. From chaos to cameras, it's time for the most mainstream couple in WWE history. 17 world titles on one side, a record Divas reign on the other, and cameras everywhere they went. John Cena and Nikki Bella were the most famous couple in the WWE at one point, looking like they were destined for a lifelong reign at the top. And before their shocking breakup in 2018, they accomplished a lot. I mean, John's resume can be summed up with 17 world titles and the most Make-A-Wishes ever granted with 650, while Nikki's career has some highlights in and out of the ring too. Not only was she the longest reigning Divas champion in WWE history, but she also pioneered two different reality TV shows, Total Divas, which premiered to 1.3 million viewers and ran 9 seasons, and Total Bellas, her own spin-off that lasted 6 seasons. Yeah, these two owned the spotlight, and their peak couple moment was solidified at WrestleMania 33, when after winning a mixed tag match versus Miz and Maryse, John grabbed the microphone, got down on one knee, and left Nikki and the WWE Universe speechless. But unfortunately, that fairy tale ending wasn't meant to be. So despite all their accomplishments and popularity, they're at number 6 on the list, scoring 39 out of 50. Storybook proposals are cute, but weaponized romance is even louder. The Miz and Maryse make getting heat look easy, because they've turned their relationship into a weapon. And we saw it in the Total Bellas parodies before WrestleMania 33. They were funny, petty, viral, to the point where the build-up felt bigger than some of the matches on the card. I mean, every time these two are on TV, they're guaranteed to generate a response. And usually, it's a symphony of boos, which is exactly what you want from your top heel couple. But as dynamic as they are together, they're also successful on their own. Maryse is a 2-time Divas champion, and Miz, he's a microphone with legs. He's the first 2-time Grand Slam champion, multi-time Intercontinental champion, Money in the Bank winner, 2 reigns as WWE champion, and he has that talking smack edge that can turn 90 seconds of air into a full-blown feud. And outside the ring, they still play in primetime, because Miz and Mrs. turned their real life into weekly TV. Throw in the fact they've been together for 19 years, and it's clear that they are a top 5 couple of all time, scoring a total of 41 out of 50. But our next couple doesn't need a script to start a riot. Rebels with matching edges. And now, with AJ Lee and CM Punk being reunited in WWE for a couples run against Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, they have a chance to catapult themselves even further up this list. But their legacies are already established as individuals. AJ is a 3-time Divas champion with 406 combined days on top and a defining 295-day run. But her impact spans far beyond the ring too, because during her WWE hiatus, she became a New York Times best-selling author. She executive produced and did commentary for Women of Wrestling, worked on various comic books, and even did some screenwriting for Netflix shows. I mean, she was already huge when she left wrestling in 2016, but somehow she became even bigger, and CM Punk's just as big a star, if not bigger, because he feels real, and people of all ages can look up to him. He's straight edge, the voice of the voiceless, and says what other people are only thinking, making those around him feel seen. He generates buzz wherever he goes, whether it's WWE, AEW, or even the UFC, which may not have gone the way fans had hoped, but that's okay. And even off camera, Punk is magnetic. He's also written comics like AJ, he's acted, and he does commentary for CFFC, so the story follows him wherever he goes. And when you take into account their resumes, their legacy and impact, how entertaining they are, and the fact that they've been together for 13 years, they are locked into the top 5. But don't be surprised if they jump a couple spots over the next year, scoring 42 out of 50. Rebels rewrite rules, but icons write the blueprint. Because they were the prototype. Before Power Couple was a brand, it was a look. Savage and neon fringe, mirror shades, and a cape like a billboard, with Elizabeth in floor-length sequins, white gloves, and high-gloss hair. She didn't match Randy's volume, she framed it. Her poised walk, the hand on his bicep, the soft smile against his hard angles, you saw them and knew exactly who they were and how epic they felt together. Elizabeth didn't even need to wrestle to have an impact, because she changed the temperature of every match just by stepping on camera. And together, they taught a generation that a glance could be louder than a promo. From heel Savage hiding behind Elizabeth to draw boos, to George the Animal Steel mooning over her to spark sympathy, and then the fairy tale, WrestleMania 4. Savage runs the tournament and wins the WWF title, while Elizabeth cycles outfits and the arena melts. From there, the Mega Powers form, and jealousy does the rest. Lust in your eyes turns into the Mega Powers exploding at WrestleMania 5. But the moment everyone remembers isn't a belt shot, it's a hug. At WrestleMania 7, Savage loses the career-ending match, while Sherry attacks, prompting Elizabeth to make the save. And suddenly, decades of hard-edged fans get dust in their eyes. SummerSlam 91 sealed everything with their wedding, the match made in heaven. The visual every wrestling romance gets measured against. Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth land in the top 3 for several reasons. Their longevity at the top, Savage's world champ resume with Elizabeth by his side, and stories that moved tickets without a single bump from her. They were the emotional engine of the late 80s WWF, proving that a manager-valet combo could be the heartbeat, not the accessory, bringing their total score to 45 out of 50. But we're going from the blueprint to the modern apex. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch are two aces who don't just pose together, they main event together. And right now they are red hot, because Becky slapped CM Punk on Raw, and just days later, WWE fans got the epic return of AJ Lee, because she came back in her husband's hometown of Chicago to spark one of the hottest couple feuds in WWE history. But regardless of how this angle plays out, Seth and Becky have already established their legacies together, because they became simultaneous champions back in 2019 on the same night, when at WrestleMania 35, Rollins opened the show by beating Brock Lesnar for the Universal title. And just hours later, Becky closed the show by beating Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair in the first ever Women's Mania main event. Yeah, they both went home real happy that night, and they've helped carry the company side by side ever since, getting married and having a daughter together in the process. Fast forward to today, and they are still wearing gold. But that might not be for much longer depending on how this AJ and Punk feud go. Still though, Becky and Seth are undoubtedly the most powerful couple still wrestling today, because they can swing heel or babyface without losing the room. From the Man to Big Time Bex, Beast Slayer to Visionary, they're the rare duo carrying top of card pressure and real life stakes at the same time, bringing their total score to 46 out of 50. And number 1 on our list is the couple that turned power into policy. Triple H and Stephanie McMahon are the epitome of power couple, and it started with the drive-thru wedding swerve, but shifted seamlessly into the McMahon-Helmsley era where the entire show bent around them. Fast forward to the Authority years and that WrestleMania 32 entrance with Steph on the throne, Hunter marching the army, and it was corporate theater. These two didn't just headline angles, they set the operating conditions for everyone else's angles. Their decades of relevance, both on camera and in real life, is unmatched. And although Stephanie only has one title under her belt, the amount of championships she helped her husband win makes up for it. And she still has her share of huge matches and moments too, especially during her 2013 to 2019 run, when she faced the likes of Brie Bella and even had a tag match with Triple H against Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle. I mean, even after retirement, they continue to make waves as a couple. Because if you look at the top stars of WWE today, it isn't far-fetched to say Hunter and Stephanie had a hand in their rises to the top, whether it was behind the camera or on screen. And a good example of that is with number 2 on this list, because not only was Seth Rollins under the Authority's learning tree, but Becky Lynch was also brought in by Stephanie McMahon, or at least in kayfabe. So when you factor in everything, the love, the leverage, the longevity, that's why they wear the crown. scoring 48 out of 50.